everyone, my name is Kelly. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to straight iron your hair and how to trim it as well. I find that it's a lot easier for you to wash the hair, straight iron the hair, and then cut the hair. When you go to a hairstylist, I know that hairstylists have a habit of washing the hair, cutting the hair, drying the hair, and then cutting it again. But for my clients, after years of experience, I find that I always like to cut or trim the hair when it's dried. Why? Because you walk around, you wear your hair dry. You don't wear your hair when it's wet, or at least you don't wear it walking around. So therefore, when I cut my client's hair dry, I find that it's a lot more accurate. I find that you can see where you are cutting, as opposed to when it's wet. It's like driving in the fog or driving in a rainy day. You can't really see where you're going, right? So again, there are exceptions to every rule, but I'm just talking from my experience and in general, what I do for my clients. So usually at my salon, the owner charge about $65 for a haircut, and that's include a full service, which is wash, blow, cut, and blow dry. But usually, if budgeting is an issue for you, or financially you don't want to spend that amount of money every month getting a hair trim, then I always suggest my clients to wash your hair at home, come with it freshly washed and dry, and then I will straighten it, and then I will cut it. Exactly when I dry the hair, I actually see how the hair is reacting to my cut immediately, and also I can see where the split ends are. And a lot of my clients come to see me, Kelly, I don't want length off, I just want hair trim, and every time I go to a hairstylist, they cut off too much. So that's my experience, and that's how I deal with those clients who are very length picky, and they don't want to lose any length because they love their hair. So I find that if you cut your hair when it's dry, whether you're doing it on someone else or you're doing it on yourself, is a clearer picture to work with. So this is my hair, 2 days old. So I usually don't flat iron my hair just because I like the volume look, so I always use hot rollers. But today I'm going to show you how to flat iron. So this flat iron that I have here is the Nano Titanium by Babyliss Pro. So it's about 1 inch, okay? It goes up to 50, and there's an on button. So very straightforward. You can adjust the heating temperature. So what I do, if you have a lot of hair, so let's say if your hair is fairly medium texture and it's fairly straight, easy to work with, then you don't need to do so many sections. But if your hair is very wiry, very curly, very hard to manage, then take smaller sections. So the smaller the section, the faster the straightening, the lesser time you spend. The chunkier the section, the longer it takes for the iron to heat through, the longer time it will take you to style your hair. Here's my hair right now, okay? So to me, this is very greasy. It may not look greasy, but my head feels very greasy. I wash my hair every day. It is because of a habit, and I know that. I always get compliment on the second day, but for me, I know it's a mental thing. Like, I need to feel that my hair have been washed for me to feel that it's clean. So I'm going to part the hair. Use the clip. So it is very important that you brush your hair or comb your hair before you flat iron it. Meaning, if your hair is tangled, don't flat iron through it, because what happens is that when you flat iron through a hair that is knotted or tangled, it will basically snap that hair, right? So when you flat iron your hair, make sure you comb the hair so it's easy to flat iron through. After I brush my hair out, I'm going to use the comb to comb the hair, and I run the flat iron through like this. So since I put the comb going first, the comb is basically helping to clear the hair for me so that when I flat iron the hair, it's easier. So that's all you do. You section the hair and then you hold the iron and you slide it down the hair. On this side, the same thing. So when you flat iron your hair and you're seeing steam coming out, that is not your hair burning. So don't worry, unless if you're smelling burnt. If not, it's just the moisture from the product. So after you finish flat ironing your hair, what you're going to do is you're going to part your hair in half down the center. And then what I like to do first is to determine the length. The reason why is once you determine the length, you won't cut the length accidentally short. Because if you don't determine the length and then you cut the layer first, sometimes when you cut the layer and then you don't know where the length is, then you can cut too much of the length. So since I don't want to lose my length, I'm just going to give it a very, like a 1/8 of an inch trim. So hold the hair. So as you can see, when your hair is straight, it's a lot easier to hold the hair. So what I'm doing is I'm point cutting. So what that means is I hold the hair like this and then I just point cut. So by me doing this, I am able to trim the hair without taking too much length, as well as I'm giving the hair some movement. So it's not so blunt and it doesn't look heavy. Because when you have movement, when you style your hair, it has body. If you cut the hair blunt and it's too heavy, then when you blow dry it, the gravity will pull down the hair and therefore you won't get as much volume as you would like to. Okay, so after I determine my length, I'm going to cut my front. So again, I'm just doing a trim. Okay, so let's say I know right now my hair has already been layered, so therefore I can't really show you how it is from scratch, meaning if it was one length. But if you did have one length hair, you would use the same technique. The only thing is that I can't, since my hair is not one length, I can't show you that. If you use the same technique, even if you have one length hair, your end result will look like this. I guarantee it. So after you determine the length and make sure you point cut it so that you don't have a blunt line. When you point cut the hair, whether you are going to layer it after or not, it will still have movement. Say someone have their hair long and they like it one length, right? But it doesn't mean that they want it heavy. They want it one length because it's one length, there's no layers like mine, but they still want to have movement at the bottom. So that's where you have to point cut the hair. But one length doesn't always mean that it's cut blunt across and then it ends up looking like a pyramid. You don't want that, right? So therefore, if you forget about my layers, and your hair was one length and you just want to trim it but still have a bit of movement, then do exactly what I did. Split the hair in half, hold it down, and then separate it from your finger to the hair that are being cut like about an inch. Try to hold it really firm. Since the hair is straightened, it's going to be easier for you to hold it. It won't flip and flop everywhere, and it will be straight so that you can see where you're cutting. So let's say if your hair was one length and you like to keep it that way, then you just determine the length that you want it and then just point cut it like this. You will still get one length, except it has more movement. Now, let's say if you have your hair uneven and you want to cut it one length to here. So for you to hold all this hair and point cut, it may be hard for you. So what you can do is that, let's say if you want your hair to be where your chest is, and then after that, you don't want, because whatever you aim for, make sure you cut an inch or two below from that. So let's say if your hair is, you want it to finish right here, you have to cut it from here so that when you point cut it, it will shrink up to where you want it. So where you want it doesn't mean that's where you cut it. Where you want it is you're gonna go about an inch to 2 inch. If your hair is curly, make sure you do 2 inch, because the wavy curly hair, it shrinks up when it's dry. If your hair is straight, poker straight, then it's easier calculation. You cut it where about an inch or an inch and a half below. Keep in mind you can always cut more, but if you cut too much, it will take you months to grow back. So if you want your hair to finish here, then you should cut right here, because when you start texturizing or point cutting, it will shrink up to here. But if you technically cut a straight line from here, when you layer it or when you point cut it, it will shrink up to here. So therefore, determine where you want it to finish and do 2 inches below that. Cut that first. Once you're happy with that and you want it shorter, you can always move up another ½ inch, and then you can move up more. So take your time cutting. Don't rush, because you can rush your haircut, but you cannot rush to make your hair grow. So just keep that in mind. I hope I word it properly so that you can understand it, but I hope you understand what I mean. Since I determined my length already, I'm going to part my hair in half, and with this long comb, it will help to hold my hair. So I'm going to comb my hair and have the comb hold onto it, and I'm going to determine how V I want it. So if you want the back to look like a deep V, then you will hold the comb more on a diagonal, okay? And then cut all of this part off, going down. By you cutting this whole part off, it will make the back look very V. But if you don't want to have that sharp V, okay, rather than on a diagonal with a comb, bring it perpendicular to the ground, okay? Move it inward to your body, which means you will preserve that oval at the back. I like it more of a oval V, so I'm just gonna trim a little bit of it like this. Same thing on the other side. If you want it really V, then have the comb more on a diagonal like this, and then cut all of this off. Then at the back, it'll look very V. My hair forward, and then I just trim. So as you can see, when the hair is straightened, it's a lot easier to cut the hair. If the hair falls out, don't worry about it. Just re-comb it and cut it again. So right now I'm seeing exactly where my split ends are. I'm seeing exactly how it looks right after when I cut it. So that's why I cut it when it's dry and straightened. So it's very important where the bangs are. So let's say right here, this area, always tend to get very heavy, as you can see. You can see a bit of the shadow. So what I do is I use the fine tooth comb to hold on to the hair as I'm going to deep point cut it. So do you see? I go deeper in. By me doing that, I soften up the heaviness of the side fringe. Again, be very careful when you're doing this because you don't want to cut too much. Okay? So I'm pretty happy with the layers. So those of you who have a bit more split ends because you flat iron your hair a lot or you style it a lot, what you could do is that you can hold the hair like this, comb it, and whatever hair that you see static out, because when the hair is dry, it will automatically static. So when you hold like this, the dry hair with the split end, the static will stick out. So that's where you surface cut it. So like this. So when you comb, okay, and then as you bringing your hand through a little bit on the bend, you're going to see if there's any flyaways or any flyaways that has split ends. You can surface cut the hair like that to get rid of the split ends. Okay? Now I'm going to cut the interior. So I section into pie shape. I use the comb. I hold it with my 2 fingers, following the comb, and over direct it to the other side. And then I just see where I need to cut it. This is all freehand. You use your judgment to see where you need to cut it. If you like your length, but you just want to trim it, then you can definitely do this. Next section. see the movement in my haircut? Okay. So when you straighten it, it may look straight, but when you move or when you go outside, the wind blow at it, you will see a lot of movement in the hair. And the movement is what gives the hair the volume. See? So that's it for my trim. It's very straightforward again because I already layered it like this, so therefore I'm just trimming it. But let's say if you have your hair one length, you can definitely use this technique. I did it very quickly because there wasn't that much to cut. But I want to explain to you that a lot of time, if you find that your hair doesn't have volume, it's not because your hair is fine or you don't have a lot of hair. It is because you need a haircut. When the hair grown out from a style, it becomes very heavy, and whatever you do to it, whether you style it or you curl it, it's always flat because it's not grown out. So therefore, a lot of time, if you don't want to have as much layers as mine, and then point cut the ends when the hair is straightened like this, so that the ends are more softer. By you having it like that, when it's styled, it will have lift, it will have volume, and it will have movement in the hair, which will give you the volume that you're looking for. So again, this is very straightforward. I don't know how else to explain it. I wish I had my hair one length so I can do this cut from scratch for you, but definitely whatever cut that you may have right now, you can definitely use this technique. Follow my hand position, follow my direction of over directing, follow my tips to how to cut it as a guideline. But of course you can always change it to what's fit you best. So again, I hope that this video was helpful for you. Thank you so much for watching my previous videos on how to cut your own hair. I find that on my channel, show you how to cut your hair is mostly watched, and you guys liked it a lot. So I'll try to do a lot more haircut videos. Unfortunately, my models, I can't find any models, and definitely my client doesn't feel comfortable with me using them to do haircuts. So I know my haircut techniques or my haircut looks is very limited. But if you are in Toronto and let's say you're willing to be a model, I'll be more than happy to do different looks or different cuts to show my subscribers on different styles. So this is that's it. I know when you guys watch this video, you're gonna ask me, Kelly, why is your hair so shiny? What do you use? Honestly, if you want to see those videos, I did those videos previous. You can definitely check out my channel to see the videos that I've done on product wise. But keep in mind that when someone is on camera or in a photo, you don't see their detail flaw. So therefore, everything on them looks perfect. But if you were to stand in front of me right now, you will still see some split ends that I'm not able to cut all out because it's inside my short pieces. So therefore, you know, everyone has bad hair day. Everyone has breakage. Everyone has hair falling out, you know, 50, 80 strands a day. That is perfectly normal. So therefore, but I do take care of my hair, invest in my hair. I use proper shampoo. I style my hair very well. I protect it with the, you know, products. So, you know, you need to look after yourself in order for you to look like the way you want it to look, right? If you're one of those people who just wash and go, very low maintenance, very, you know, I don't care, leave it all natural, of course, anything that's natural, it will have some sort of a flaw, right? That's why we always try to improve ourselves in every way as humanity. So when you see someone has smooth, unfrizzy, perfect straight hair, it is because they took the time into styling it. But if they came out of the shower and blow dry their hair or just let their air dry, you will see it's frizzy just like everyone else. So again, my hair, I've shown you some of the videos that I didn't style my hair and it looked like a bird nest. It looked very straggly, it looked very dry. So it shows you that even a hairstylist have bad hair days, and even hairstylists need to style their hair as well. Let's say if you straighten your hair like this and you like it straight like this, is fine, but sometimes if you want to see those layers, I'm going to show you how to enhance those layers. So when you put your hair in hot rollers, because the hot rollers are round, it helps to curve the hair so that you can see a lot of layers. When your hair is straightened like this, because it's straight, you don't really see the movement until you move, right? So let's say if you want the front to be more framing, what you can do is, again, use the comb. So rather than going straight down, you're gonna go curve inwards. Like this. See how I'm curving it in a little bit? So that's how you would make the layers show a bit more. So even down here, curve it in a little bit. So all you do is you hold the curling iron and just give it a slight curve. So same thing over here. Hold it and then just give it a bit of a curve. And now you see more of the layer curving in. See? So before it was very straight, now you can see all the layers very nicely blended with each other. I hope that this video was helpful. I hope I covered most of the questions that were asked in some of my videos. If I miss anything, please write a comment below and let me know, and I'll try my best to answer them for you. If I don't get back to you, please don't be offended. It's just that I'm so busy with work, and I'm busy with doing my charity with Help Kid to School Foundation. So whenever I have free time, I just do a video and I upload it. I don't really took the time to edit it because I just don't have the time, and I just don't know how to do all the editing because I'm not a computer tech. But I appreciate you guys for watching my channel and supporting my cause. So once again, much love to you all. I hope that my tutorial is easy to follow, and I hope that it's helpful for you in some way. So once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye everyone. Mwah.